Welcome back to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, everyone. The FIVB Beach Volleyball World Tour 3-star stop is coming to a close. This is our final match. It is the women's gold medal game between Sarah Pavan and Malissa Paredes of Canada and Emily Day and Betsy Flint of the United States. This should be a very entertaining contest. Grayson Knutson here with you. I have the call, joined in the booth by Everett Delorme. This is going to be very entertaining. We should also introduce our officials. Up on the stand from Brazil, Luciene Ferreira dos Santos, and down on the stand in the sand, from Bulgaria, Stefan Dermadziev. Everett, what do you make of this contest between these two sides, seeded 1 and 2 in this tournament?
You know what? It's a classic 1 versus 2, Canada versus USA showdown. And you know what? It's been interesting because for so long it seemed like the USA had such a handle on beach volleyball, both on the men's and women's side. And then obviously Brazil's been in there, and then we saw Germany creep in. But lately our Canadian women have been absolutely rocking it as we see Sarah Pavan at 6'5", getting a big hand of applause. And you know what? There's no doubt who not only the crowd favorite, but the favorite to win this one is the defending world champions.
Just a couple of weeks ago, they were standing on top of the podium in Hamburg, and now they're looking to replicate that feat here in Edmonton as they go up against Emily Day and Betsy Flint, who have also won every single match coming into this one. A 3-setter to kick things off against a Swiss pair, and then kind of just rolling through the rest of it. One tight set against Bukevich and Pischke of Canada, but no real trouble other than that, as the first point will go to Canada as Betsy Flint puts the serve long.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm expecting a bit of a defensive battle here because we know that Melo is one of the best in the world, and we saw last night that Betsy Flint is an absolute baller in the back row, and she was definitely the MVP of last night's match, maybe the MVP of last night, period.
That one from Day is off the fingertips of Pavan, falls on the Canadian side, so one apiece to start things off as we go back and forth.
You know, we're going to see a lot of that from M. Day. She doesn't really pound that ball too much. She doesn't have a lot of topspin when she hits, but she does have a very, very good ability to chip that one in and around the block and use the hands of the opposing team's blocker. And you know, that's one of the downsides of being 6'5" is that you've got a lot of hand to swing at when you're that tall and that high above the net.
Malissa picks up a point there for Canada. Sarah Pavan goes back to serve. Pavan red cross court, but that's a wonderful kill by Day, getting around that block and finding the tape.
Yeah, she's able to float outside there as that ball was coming across the net, and she saw Pavan diving into the line, and she was able to go around her and still find the sideline.
Malissa, well-placed shot there. This duo of Pavan and Malissa Paredes, in addition to being world champions, this is their 28th FIVB Beach Volleyball World Tour stop. They have medaled 9 times. They've also been in 4th place 5 times, so a fixture almost in the semifinals, it seems, this duo.
Absolutely are, and you know what? With the other pairing of Heather Bansley and Brandy Wilkerson, it's almost a guarantee on the women's side to see at least one Canadian team threatening for a medal week in and week out.
Great roll shot there from the Americans. Day will switch sides. It's 4-3 Canada. Emily Day and Betsy Flint have played 17 tour stops together. They have 1 title, and they also have 1 silver medal to their credit. So they will add another one of those 2 medals. Which one will it be? We'll find out in the next half hour plus. Pavan goes up. Little hand there to it from Day, but it goes out of bounds, and Canada gets another point.
Great shot there by Sarah. You know, when you're that high, you got so much real estate to swing at. You kind of just pick and choose.
Serve from Pavan goes long. It's the second matchup between these two duos. They met at the Las Vegas 4-star last October, and it was the Canadian team winning 21-10, 23-21. So a tight second set after a blowout in the first. Malissa, hard off the hands, out of bounds, another point for Canada.
You know, that Las Vegas event last October, it was actually Canadian teams winning it all. It was an all-Canadian final between Sarah and Malissa, but they actually fell to Brandy and Heather in that one.
Nice dig in the back by Malissa. Now she has a chance to attack. The Americans peel off, and that's well played as well by the United States. Pavan with a block. And that one is going to split the two Canadian defenders. That's a real nice rally, her first extended one of the match here.
Such good fight there from the Americans, just keeping that ball alive time and time again. And, you know, we talked about it a little bit last night and when they played Japan, is that when you're going up against the world champs, when you're going up against the world champs at home, you really have very little pressure on you because everyone is expecting them to win. Everyone is wanting them to win. So all you have to do is go out there and play volleyball.
Melissa goes up, little touch there, but it's going to fall on the American side. Another point for Canada. Day couldn't quite block that one cleanly.
No, not quite, but good hustle to try to get that ball on the outside. And Melissa is just such a strong swing. She's one of the best shooters of the game. You're going to see her. She's going to carve the ball. She's going to go line over. She's going to hit the pokey, but when it's time to swing, she can swing.
How about that pokey? That catches the blue tape. You can see it rattle. Wonderfully played by the Americans.
Back in her indoor days, Mel, playing for the York University Lions. Known to be one of the top players in the OUA, whereas Sarah Pavan, she's won a couple of national championships in the NCAA, playing for the Nebraska Huskers for the MVP.
Team switching sides, Canada up 8-6 here in this opening set of the gold medal match here in Edmonton, where we have enjoyed some fairly decent weather the last couple of days. Right now we're sitting at 25 degrees, feels like 28, winds 24 kilometers an hour, and how about that?
Hem Day just ripping away on that one. Seeing the daylight, and she goes for it. You know, a few years ago, M. Day was playing with Summer Ross, and Summer's moniker, if you will, is Summer on the jersey. So it was a
Summer Day.
Summer Day.
Pretty apt for the beach volleyball game. Melissa perfectly placed once again. Canada 9-7 for Canada. Sarah Pavan will put this ball in play. A little bit of a miss hit there.
Rare mistake by Betsy Flint there.
Tried to cut it, but maybe too sharply, and it caught the net. Now here's Pavan. The southpaw. Day goes up, rolls it over top of Pavan, and finds that back line just out of the reach of Melissa.
Just such perfect placement there by M. Day, and just putting it an arm's length away out of the stretched out Melissa.
Melissa goes up and puts that one down fairly easily. Not a lot of resistance from the Americans on that attack.
No, and this is why Melissa's just one of the best side-out players in the world. She's so crafty. She has so many shots in her repertoire, and she might have the best vision on the beach.
There's a big block from Sarah Pavan. Didn't maybe catch it as cleanly as she would have liked, but got enough of it to keep it on the American side in play. So it's 12-8.
Great job by Pavan there to turn that ball inside.
It's a good spot. Emily Day. And it's 12-9, so we are at the technical timeout here in set number one. Fairly decent start for the Canadian duo, wouldn't you say, Everett?
Yep, absolutely. They are in control of this match so far, but the Americans are keeping up with them. They're playing with them, and when you're playing a good team like this, all you're trying to do is stay with them. because it's at the end of the set that you really want to make your push, because if you're going to be leading a really good team, they're going to feel threatened and they're going to try to really go for it. So if you can just stick with a team like this and stay within 2-3 points, you really have a shot at the end of the set to push back, just like we saw Ben and Grant in the last match.
Seen a full day of volleyball here in Edmonton. Medals handed out. We saw the men's and women's bronze medal matches before this, and then just right before this, we saw Swiss side of Beeler and Kradiger knock off Saxton and O'Gorman of Canada to win the gold medal for Switzerland. No Canadian duo has ever won a Beach Volleyball World Tour medal on home sand, and that's obviously going to change in this match, but no team, either gender, has won a gold medal. So we'll see if Pavan and Malissa can make a little history here in Edmonton. And that will help as that serve from the Americans goes long. And now Pavan will try to put it in play. Oh, good read from Pavan on that second attack from the Americans. And then she gets up high and shuts that attack down.
With the flush right there. Almost like the Kembe Mutombo over there saying no as she throws that one down.
14-9. Pavan and Melissa in front. She mishit that one, and, well, I won't repeat what she said. This is a family program. Let's just say she wasn't happy about it. Pavan goes up, swinging with the left. It bounced off her head as well, and she just plays it over. Attempted one-arm dig there from Malissa as Day did well to catch the Canadian defenders splitting there.
Yep, and just a good hustle play by the Americans. And this is one thing about Betsy Flint and Emily Day, is that if they're out of it, they're just going to dig in deep and try to work harder for the next point.
Flint serving. And she's able to dig that up. Now she's going to have an attack. Try to punch it. Good spinning one-arm dig from Pavan there, who just has to put that one over. Free ball. Another opportunity here for Canada. Melissa, she finds open space in the back of the court. Point for Canada.
And once again, just Mel is just proving time and time again why she's one of the best in the world. Such good vision to be able to see Betsy Flint pulling and just going over top of the block of Emily Day.
Melissa serve. And Flint tried to play that one over second time. We saw her do that a number of times last night. Didn't work out for her this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the first time we've seen her try that one in this final. But when you have Melissa Magna-Paredes on the other side, she's always watching and she's always attentive, so it's going to be hard to score on her that way.
Americans take a timeout, 15-11 the score here. The Canadian duo of Sarah Pavan and Melissa Humana-Paredes in front. And they're just chilling right now. Couple words exchanged, but not much to say between the two. They know what their job is.
Yep, absolutely. And this Canadian team is definitely one of the best. And if there's one team that's almost destined, if you will, to get the first Canadian gold medal on Canadian soil, it would be this team.
Yeah, I think they're just riding that wave of momentum. And not only did they win the World Championship, they also booked their spot at the Tokyo Olympics, which is just so massive for them and also for Canadian beach volleyball as well.
Well, it's so big because, you know, the cutoff for the Olympics isn't until, I think it's June 15th of next year. So there's 11 months until that time when teams are constantly thinking and focusing on the Olympics and focusing on qualification. But now Mel and Sarah, they already know they're going. They've already booked their ticket. So now it's no longer, yes, obviously the results matter and they want good ones, but it's also so much now about just preparing for next July, preparing for Tokyo next year. Every tournament up until that point is a practice for that tournament, and that's just part of that peace of mind that you get by winning the World Championships and winning that spot.
Two teams have switched sides. It's 17-11 Canada here. Malissa splitting the defenders once again. I think there's something to be said with, you mentioned the vision, but she's just so smart where she places the ball on her attack, whether she's hitting it hard or just poking it over.
You know what, Mel's a vet. I mean, I remember when I first started into volleyball when I was 14 years old, reading about how her and her partner at the time, Victoria Altamar, were going down in the U.S. and winning Junior Olympics, which is their version of the Nationals. And she's been around the game so much, and she reads it so well. She just stays so patient and is able to be really relaxed back there and play the game, and that's why she's so good and one of the best in the world.
19-11. Canada in front here after that one from the Americans went wide. Here's Malissa from Toronto, Ontario. Still calls that place home. Big block there by Sarah Pavan at the net. Here comes Malissa once again, and she finds the corner. She seems unstoppable at the moment.
Yep. As we have set point here, and the fans are getting up and cheering. They want to see a Canadian gold medal, and a point here will get them just that much closer.
And it will be Malissa to serve. Day goes up, partially blocked. Melissa's there. Pavan just rolls it over. Chance for the Americans with Day, blocked by Pavan, and it falls to the sand. And Team Canada, Pavan and Malissa, win the opening set 21-11. Convincing fashion here in Edmonton.
Right now, this is just a business trip for these two. They know what they want to do, and they know how to accomplish it. And they are getting the job done here in Edmonton. Perfect situation for them to win the first gold medal on Canadian soil.
You mentioned too, there's a couple of real big events coming up. There's a 4-star coming up and a 5-star as well. So obviously you want to carry the momentum from World Championships through. This is a 3-star event, still a very high event, but you got a couple big ones coming up on the calendar as well, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, last week in Stade, they had a bit of a tough matchup in the quarterfinals, had to take on Ana Patricia and Rebecca from Brazil, falling to them. And of course, it was their familiar foes, Alex Kleiman and April Ross, taking home the gold in Stade. So you know that Mel and Sarah are eager to get to Tokyo next week and to prove that, hey, we are the world champions and we're the best no matter what. And a win here will definitely add to that momentum.
That event next week in Tokyo is a test event for the Olympics next year. Two teams retaking the quarters. We get ready for set number 2 here in Edmonton. It will be Melissa Humana Paredes to serve first for Canada. Emily Day goes up, goes cross court, but the angle just too sharp there. Point for Canada.
Yeah, when you've got Melissa Humana Paredes standing in the line there, or in the cross, sorry, and Sarah Pavan in front of you, you're trying to find something to do. We saw her with success with that shot in the first set, but unable to make it happen here in the second as Mel puts that serve long.
Yeah, just drifted on her just a little bit. Just maybe hoping the wind would slow it up, and it never did for her.
Ooh.
And that's an ace for Betsy Flint, finding the back line, splitting the two defenders. That hubby wife shot, as you like to call it.
It's a favorite.
It's a great name. I really enjoy it. Melissa just rolling it right over top of the block. Smart play there from Melissa. Canada has another point, and it's 2-2. Early days here in set number 2. Women's gold medal game. Flint goes up and really caught the Canadian defenders off balance there. It looked like Pavan wanted to peel off, but she ran to the side where Melissa was, and Melissa was trying to switch over, and it just didn't quite happen quick enough. Serve there from Day, just gets over. Melissa with nobody going up against her, puts it away into the corner.
What a great shot by Melissa there, going over the top of M. Day, who was peeling off that net to the sideline.
Day going up. Oh, Day hammer that one hard cross court. Big kill there for the Americans, who will have a 4-3 lead as we switch sides for the first time in the second set.
That's it. When in doubt, swinging hard is always a great option. If you're in position, might as well do it. Emily Day did it well that time.
And that serve from Flint goes into net. You can almost tell, it looked like when she was on her approach with her toss, her feet got caught in the sand or something, maybe a little stumble. Didn't quite get the lift she wanted on her jump, and it wound up going into the net on the serve. That's a really good roll shot from Emily Day there. Open court behind the block.
Great shot by M. Day. As now she goes back to serve. And they're going to continue to want to put pressure on the Canadians with their serving. As Day continues to serve float serves.
Pavan. That's a nice kill for Sarah Pavan. They served it right to her, and she made him pay.
That's always the downside of serving Sarah Pavan, is that she's still one of the best offensive players in the game. It's great vision by her there to see that that ball was real tight, and that, you know, when a ball's tight like that, it's almost easier in certain situations for the attacker to wipe the ball off the block. With Sarah Pavan doing such a good job there, just staying down and waiting to see what happens. And she didn't need to do anything as M. Day put that one wide.
That one from Day is going to slice out of bounds. Another point for Canada. 7-5 is the score.
We got a 3-point run here for the Canadians.
Nice little stretch with Melissa at the line. Nice little readjustment there from Day. And she gets it to roll in to the sand, an open spot on the Canadian side of the court.
Good answer there after they go on a 3-point slide by the Americans. But now playing catch up, already down by 1. That's a dangerous spot for them to be in. They're going to have to do something special here to take control back of this set.
The Americans peeled off the net there, and Melissa just found that open space, clipped the tape at the back. Another point for Canada, 8-6 at the side switch.
Does such a good job at recognizing there was no one up at the net. As soon as someone's peeling, you either want to go right at the person peeling, or you want to go right between them and their partner to cause confusion.
Pavan serving. Emily Day goes up and puts that one down with authority. Emily Day, nice kill.
Sarah Pavan was a little bit off on her block there. She was almost jumping down the line there, and you're seeing how she had to reach back inside for that block.
Emily Day, Torrance, California. Pavan puts that one away.
Such good hustle there by Melissa, and you can hear that communication, that as she's chasing that ball, she's like, come on, come on, come on. Right? She's urging Sarah to come to her so that she can just put that ball straight up, and Sarah makes no mistake finding the back corner.
That's a nice spot there from Betsy Flint, putting that one away. A little bit of room there for Flint. The born in Phoenix, but now calls LA home.
Most North American beach volleyball players always end up in that South Bay area of Los Angeles. Redondo Beach, Huntington Beach, Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach. That's where, you know, that's where the best train. Even Mel and Sarah both live down there during the off season.
They all have beach in the name, so that obviously helps.
Yeah, it helps a little bit.
Pavan serving. And it's an ace for Sarah Pavan, and almost a touch for Everett DeLorme.
Almost a touch. the guy beside me got to it first.
11-8, Canada in front here. Just a couple points away now from a technical timeout. Malissa was there, but can't reel that one in. Nice swing. The Americans pick up a point there.
You know, in Vancouver on Kitts Beach, they have a saying. It's called hammer it. And that's exactly what Emily Day does. Is she just rips that ball, and even one of the best defenders in the world can't handle her heat.
Pavan gets that one to go. Just a nice little chip drop there. We've reached the technical timeout. One thing I wonder, we've always noticed this a little bit in the indoor game, is you have to make that adjustment when there's a left-handed player. It kind of throws you off if you're not really focused. Be like, oh, this person's left-handed. You know which way to set up the block. And you can definitely get caught a couple times, and you notice it too when they slide to the one side.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not aware, if you're not, aware of the person who's in front of you and don't have that knowledge if they're lefty or righty, that can mess things up. Volleyball is such a game of centimeters. It's such a game of angles. It's essentially math at the end of the day, just physics. The court is only 8 by 8, right? So you've only got, 64 square meters to score at. So if you're half a foot or so to the left or right, that can make a huge difference in terms of your offense and your defense.
Not sure how many athletes will appreciate you saying it's just all math, learn your physics, but you know what? You're 100% right. There's a lot of angles, a lot of rotation on the ball, spin. It's a thinking person's game as well as just a straight brawny sport.
Oh.
That's a good play by Malissa to get it over. Pokey deep.
Wow.
Nicely dug up by Malissa. And she's going to have a swing, but maybe just a little bit out of gas from that rally and puts it into the net.
Great hustle there by Romania Barreres all over the back row. But, to your point, someone who you might know very well, head coach of the Trinity Western Spartans men indoor team, also assistant coach of our women's national team, Ben Josephson, says that volleyball is a technical game that athletes excel at. And what he means by that is no movement in volleyball, whether it's passing, setting, hitting, whatever it is a natural movement. Everyone knows how to run, jump, kick, throw, but passing and setting and hitting, it's something that has to be taught. So it doesn't matter how good of an athlete you are. It doesn't matter if LeBron James was out here. If he doesn't know how to pass a volleyball, he's not going to win.
I like that description of the game, actually. It's very, very apt. Going up is Day. Blew it through the hands, and they're going to call it touch, I believe. Head official from Brazil says that Pavan got a piece of it with a fingertip as it went through her hands on that block attempt. 13-11 the score. Canada still in front.
No contest there on Sarah Pavan's side of things. So
Pavan going up. Unfortunately, the pass from Malissa just a little bit too far over the net, and it was easily just poked back by Day. And the Americans are within one now.
Fighting back nicely here, and that's one thing about this American team, just American teams in general, is that they're not going to give up. They're not going to give up, and that's actually why North Americans are so prized in the indoor scene in Europe. Oh, big swing.
Sarah Pavan. Melissa from her knees making a perfect pass that Pavan just hammers to the sand.
That's the exact type of answer that you want when your opponent has been pushing back. Not only you get the point, but you also send a message.
And then as we've talked about too, those momentum killers, the service errors right after big plays. Creeping into Canada's game a little bit, but they're still up by 1, 14-13. Still with the advantage in this set here. That's a decent serve there from Flint. However, Canada handles it really well, and Melissa puts it away. Side switch time at 15-13.
Mel just shows time and time again that you cannot give her any space. You can't give her any looks. And it's times like this, it's players like her that really makes other teams start serving Sarah. As bad as that sounds, at 6'5" and one of the best offensive players in the world, even on the indoor back when she was playing. Mel is so good that some teams have to go, hey, maybe we're gonna serve Sarah.
A rare miscue there from Melissa. Just put that one a bit wide. It was a shame because she had a real nice dig to get that play going. Serve from Day is going to drift long, and this time the service error falls on the American side after they had an opportunity to maybe get something going. So Pavan and Malissa still retain that 2-point advantage at 16-14.
Great touch by Mal.
Yeah, it was Flint there, that cheeky little second, well, not a setter dump because there's no real setter, but it's the same play in effect.
Just that cheeky on-2 ball. We saw them a few times last night with a bump set from Betsy Flint. And
those were sweet.
Those were awesome.
Malissa going up. And she caught the Americans moving the wrong way once again. Another point for Canada.
Great job there by Mel. Once again, just staying relaxed and patient, is able to find the open court and put it down.
Pavan serving. Just long. That didn't miss by very much. Little matrix move there by Emily Day at the last second. 17-16, Canada in front. Tough serve there from Day as well. Canada handles it really well. Both players peeling off the net for the Americans, and they were unable to dig it back up.
Mel and Sarah are inching closer here to this gold medal. Up 18-16 right now.
Malissa the serve. Long run here for Day. Keeps it up. Flint hits it hard. Malissa nicely dug up by Day, who was in the right spot. Now she goes up to attack it, blocked by Pavan. Poked back over. Malissa, big stuff. And it's actually going to work out there. I don't think that's at all what they meant to do, but hey, they don't ask how, they ask how many.
Yep, absolutely. And sometimes the bounces go your way, sometimes they don't, but that time the bounces went Mel and Sarah's way, and now they are just 2 points away from a gold medal, the first gold medal on Canadian soil.
19-16, the teams have switched sides.
Should we call it Canadian sand?
We call it sand.
The sand actually brought in not too far away. It's local sand. It's from Alberta.
Perfect. There's an ace serve for Malissa, and we have gold medal point for Canada. As the fans rise to their feet, Everett pulls out his smartphone to record some video. And we have a timeout call by the Americans, so you have a little bit of time here.
That's good, because I'm on the wrong Instagram account right now, and I got to head over to my other one. Usually this is what I'm doing. I'm usually filming the matches, and then they were like, hey, you get a chance to commentate with Grace and Knudsen, and I was just like, all right, let's go do that.
It has been a fun weekend. We've called a lot of games and a lot of entertaining volleyball with good weather, good crowds. Hopefully we see this event return to Alberta's capital in the coming years. So that's at the discretion of the governing body here, the FIVB.
Let's hear it for Team Canada.
The teams are coming back on the courts to rousing applause. Once again, it's gold medal point for Canada, and it's going to be Malissa Humana-Paredes serving.
Everyone in Edmonton are on their feet, cheering on the girls. They want to see a gold medal.
Pavan pops it up. She's going to have an opportunity to end it right here. Oh, it's well dug up, and then second ball goes long. Canada golden on home sand for the first time. Sarah Pavan, Malissa Humana-Paredes recreating that koala hug when they won the World Championship in Hamburg a couple of weeks ago, as they continue to just play so well.
Absolutely, and you can tell just by that reaction how much it meant to them to be able to win this first gold medal on Canadian soil. After Hamburg, it seems like nothing would compare, right? You're winning a world championship in front of 13,000 fans at the Rottenbaum, but instead they are here on Canadian sand winning it for the first time ever and they are going to take a victory lap and soak up the adoration of the crowd, of the fans.
They are loving it, and the fans are too. What a thrill for them. And they get the flags from the fans as well. Great moment here for Canadian beach volleyball, just adding to the recent history of what has become, again, one of the most successful programs in the entire world in the last few years.
It absolutely has, and you know what? It all started back in 2015 when Josh Binsock, Sam Schachter won the first gold in Argentina in a long time, and since then it's just opened the floodgates with multiple teams medaling. And you know, once again, you can't forget that this isn't the only great Canadian team that we have, especially looking at Brandy Wilkerson and Heather Bansley, who decided to take this weekend off because of the grueling FIVB World Tour schedule.
Well, I know there's quite a few people who are here and probably watching who, you know, wouldn't mind seeing an all-Canadian gold medal game in Tokyo next summer.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? This might even add some fire, because as much as they're friendly and they all play for Canada, at the end of the day, there can only be one team.
Why don't we just take another quick look at the final points. Canada got the opportunity after the serve. They had a chance to put it away with Pavan, but it was really nicely dug up, and then the Americans put the attack long, and that was it. Canada wearing gold, and we've brought out the podium. We're going to borrow some straw as well.
Is it going to be a podium of straw? I mean,
if you're wearing bare feet, that's not really comfortable, but you never know.
Looks like it's not going to be a podium of straw, but just surrounded by straw.
That's pretty Albertan right there.
Fitting for what we've had all week long here.
You've been here all week, Everett. Maybe just a comment on the event as a whole and how Edmonton did their first time hosting an event like this.
You know what? Edmonton in general is such a veteran of hosting international events. They're actually second in Canada after Montreal of the number of events that they host. And you know what? There was a bit of tough going early on with the weather. It's not the easiest to watch and enjoy beach volleyball when it's pouring rain. But hey, Saturday, Sunday, they showed up.
We're just getting everyone organized here for the medal presentation, and we'll stick with you for that. You don't have to worry about going too far.
You know what? Edmonton has such a strong indoor volleyball culture. You know, we talked about it yesterday with the Golden Bears, the Pandas. You got the McEwen Griffins here, the Nate Ooks. Some of the best club programs are here in Edmonton. And they haven't ever, you know, we haven't really seen much beach volleyball from Edmonton. So I'm really hoping that having this event here brings some of the amazing volleyball athletes, just the amazing athletes that this city has, to the beach, to the sand, and maybe we can see some more championships.
It's just a different showcase, too. I mean, maybe the next thing we have to do is snow volleyball. I know that's a thing that's gaining a little bit of momentum. It's 3-on-3 in the snow, a completely different sport. That would work here.
You know what? There was an FIVB snow volleyball event earlier this year in Italy, and there was teams from the USA, there was teams from all over Europe, there's teams from Africa, and there was no teams from Canada. I thought that was an absolute shame, because if there should be a country that, you know, dominates at snow volleyball, I think it needs to be our country. So I'm going to be looking to see if we can host a snow volleyball event. Maybe not necessarily at the FIVB level, maybe just a smaller one. So hey, if you have a ski resort out there looking at you, Whistler or Lake Louise, Sunshine, something like that, give us a call. Maybe we can work something up.
We'll set something up.
How's that for your après ski? You know, you come down for your last run, grab a beer, and sit courtside, watch some snow volleyball.
The officials are getting a big round of applause. Of course, many of them have traveled great distances to come here, and you know, just like the athletes, these officials are on the road for a good chunk of the year as well.
They absolutely are. You know, looking at Suzanne Lowry, who is one of the referees for the men's match, she was just with us in Vancouver, and she was in Hamburg as well.
Absolutely. We will turn things over now to the House PA system for the presentation of the medals.
Next, I'd like to call out Councillor McKean onto the stand.
All right, and we have Scott McKean with us here.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out to this, and I know you already did this, but can we get another round of applause? I heard it was about 200 volunteers who made this work. I also want to thank Volleyball Canada, Volleyball Alberta, Northlands, the Government of Canada, Government of Alberta, Edmonton Tourism, and the City of Edmonton staff. I know our staff, the city's been working really hard on this too. Thank John May, event producer. I think we could say that for the first time in Western Canada, we've held a successful event. Do you agree? Yeah. So again, thanks to the fans. I get to give out some medals, and the winning one's to Team Canada, so I'm really thrilled. I'll give it back to you. Thanks.
Stick around, Scott. Now we'd like to introduce the president of Northlands and the K-Days, Peter Mayo. Along with Peter is Cindy Minsky. They're going to stay up there to help us present the
Come out
medals.
here, Cindy. Let's hear it for Cindy. Edmonton events coordinator.
So now let's bring out the amazing athletes.
Let's turn our attention to the mix zone as the male athletes are going to come out onto center court. Come on out, fellas. Bronze and silver then gold. First up, our bronze medalists, we have Stafford Slick and Billy Allen. Let's hear it for the Americans. Next up, we have our local boys Canadian team in red. Grant O'Gorman and Ben Saxton.
And our gold medal winners, Team Switzerland, Nico Bieler and Mark Kradiger.
Let's line up behind the podium, fellas.
For now.
All right, can the bronze medalists please step onto the podium? Team USA, let's hear it for them.
To present the bronze medals is going to be Terry Gagnon from the Alberta Gold Medals.
Good job, USA. Next up, please step up silver medalists from Team Canada. Ben O'Gorman and Ben Saxton, come on, show here for us. Dave Coffin presenting the silver medals to Team Canada. Let's hear it for Team Canada! How are you guys?
And now introducing to present the gold medals, Mushtaqi Mohammed from the FIVB.
Let's have Switzerland step up to the top of the podium as they have won the gold medal here at the FIVB tournament in Edmonton.
Okay, now we got some fun gifts for these guys. We got some horseshoes for the medalists. For good luck. To present the bronze, Lenny Valles. Two-time Olympian.
Just handing out some extra fun gifts here for the guys after the medals. A horseshoe for good luck, of course. Alberta, Stampede down south. I'm sure Ben Saxton's seen his fair share of horseshoes in his time. Is that a little maple syrup as well?
Looks like it, yeah. I mean, I think that's fun, a little bit of Canadiana.
I saw it on the table and I could only see the really big bottles, and I wasn't sure if it was maple syrup or like good Alberta rye whiskey. So
Why not both? You know?
Yeah.
A little bit for the celebration and a little bit for tomorrow morning.
Exactly. So here's your three male medalists. The bronze medal team from America, Slick and Allen. Silver medalist from Canada, Saxton and O'Gorman. And the gold medalists out of Switzerland, Beeler and Reidiger.
Oh, and here's the playing of the Swiss national anthem.
Nice little reception there following the Swiss national anthem. Couple more pictures of the guys on the podium, and then we will get to the ladies' presentation of the medals and the prizes. See the competitors walk right by us here and get a good look at those pretty nifty medals. They look pretty heavy, so that's cool.
Oh yeah, the FIVB medals are the real deal. They got some nice horseshoes there too.
Yeah,
for
horseshoes
good luck.
and the maple syrup, you gotta love that. Now the ladies teams are coming out.
I don't think they're as heavy though as the World Championship trophy. If you guys have seen the clip of Mel and Sarah receiving it, they almost drop it. You know, it seems it's probably a tenth of the size of the Stanley Cup, and seems like it's almost the same weight.
I don't think you're ever expecting it to be that heavy either.
No.
So here come the ladies medalists. Japanese pair of Hasegawa and Futami, along with the Americans Flint and Day, and then of course the Canadians, also the world champions Pavan and Malissa.
Get to high five all the wonderful volunteers. Really without volunteers like them, you can't do an event.
No.
And also, I think that's why Edmonton does so good at hosting international and national events.
Here's another thing too that people might not know is that there's a, we'll get to that point in just a sec. Let's go to the presentation here.
court. The Americans, please step up on the podium. Come on up, USA. Here for your silver medalist, Dan Flint. And now, to present the gold medals, please introduce Mr. Mohammed from the FIVB.
Okay, Melissa and Sarah, please step up on the gold medal podium.
Okay. We got a few more gifts from these medalists. To present the horseshoes. The bronze medalists, two-time Olympian Olympic guys.
Look, it's a little tragically hip playing as Melissa and Sarah step onto the top of the podium. The point I wanted to make before the presentation started was that not only do they need volunteers for this big event here, the ITU Triathlon is on at Horilac Park, and that's a massive stop on the Triathlon World Tour, which takes hundreds and thousands of volunteers as well, because there's not only the major races, there's a race for all the different classes and for the amateurs as well. So Edmonton really putting on its best foot here this weekend in the international sports scene.
And you know what, with K-Days going on, with the triathlon going on, and this going on, is anyone at their homes right now? Or is
everyone is out and about in Edmonton right now. So.
West Edmonton Mall is deserted. No one is at the, no one's riding the roller coaster. No one's in the wave pool.
Exactly.
Everyone's here.
Now finally we have the large maple syrups. That'll do quite a few pancakes in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And and when you leave Canada, it's always weird to see how expensive maple syrup is.
Outside of Vermont, you're probably not finding it for as cheap as you will
absolutely.
here.
So I mean, the girls are going to Japan next. You're definitely not going to be finding cheap maple syrup over there. So hey, we've got you. We've got you covered until you come back.
Little taste of home as they get set for the next journey. But of course, before that, I'm sure we'll hear a very loud rendition of O Canada here on the Northlands grounds.
Still quite a few people still sticking around for this medal ceremony, holding off for the Ferris wheel.
Always fun to hear that anthem on home soil, have the whole crowd singing along. Always makes you feel good. One more congratulations to our gold medalists here in Edmonton, Bieler and Kradiger of Switzerland, and Pavan and Malissa of Canada. Now they're all coming together for some high fives. Everett DeLorme, thanks so much for joining us. Been a pleasure. Awesome to work with you, buddy.
It's been great. Thanks for having me.
I'd like to thank all of the volunteers who have dedicated some time, a lot of man hours to putting such a great event on. I'd like to thank the media crew here as well for broadcasting this. Well done, everyone in the truck, all the camera people sweating out the heat. I know those cameras aren't light, and you got to wear black too so you blend in, so that's not good on a hot day. Thanks to them. Thanks to all the fans for coming out as well. And, of course, thank you to the athletes for giving us your best and showcasing what some of the best beach volleyball in the world is. My name is Grayson Knudsen. Thank you so much for watching this Edmonton 3-star stop on the FIVB World Beach Volleyball Tour.
Champagne showers, DJ Cook. Let's hear it one more time for all your medalists.